Welcome to the Philosophical Matter podcast, where we explore the powerful intersections of growth mindset, leadership, entrepreneurship, and impact. I'm your host, Dr. Lo, the Wealth and Wellness Strategist. I have an amazing guest with us today. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Philosophical Matter podcast. I have a great guest today. He is an academic entrepreneur. He is the dean of the School of Business at my alma mater, Alcorn State University. He's a business owner, a practice owner, and so much more. Welcome.
Yes, I'm glad to be here. Heard a lot of good things about this podcast, and I'm ready to partake in this new adventure and share some nice nuggets for our listeners. It's going to be an amazing ride. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome, me too. So thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to have this conversation. So if you guys don't know, this is Dr. Antwon Woods, and I have heard so many great things. I've seen and witnessed so many great things that he's doing, and I thought it would be a meaningful conversation for us to kind of just put some great things out here.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about who Dr. Woods is.
Oh, goodness. Dr. Woods is, I'm a servant leader, but most importantly, I'm a family man.
Okay.
I love family, very family oriented. I'm a father of one.
Okay.
My daughter is 5, and she's the apple of my eye, of course. Of course, my beautiful wife, she's a pediatrician. We've been together for 17 years, married for 9.
Okay.
Actually, 9 next month is our anniversary. So I call myself an academic entrepreneur in the higher education space. I love providing opportunity for our students and even stakeholders to continue to better themselves.
Okay.
And
I love that.
Creating those opportunities with probably could be with degree programs or new minors or new certifications to prepare and make sure that that these stakeholders are even more ready for tomorrow. So
I love that.
Yeah.
That's good. So I call myself a visionary entrepreneur because of some of the similar things that you just described. And so one thing that I love about what I'm seeing you do in academia and in entrepreneurship is that you are a visionary.
Yes.
And so, things move forward when there's a vision, and also if that vision is met with strategy.
Yes.
And so I see that you're merging the two to get things done, and you're doing it at a fast pace too, and at a great success rate.
Yes.
So how do you feel about conjuring up an idea and then putting the action behind that idea and then seeing the results?
Well, one is not just me that's doing it.
Right.
I'm a person that believes in team. There's no I in team. So is working well with your team and trying to establish that goal.
Okay.
And with what we have established in a short period of time has been profound.
Okay.
Because again, a lot of things that you've seen and been presented sometimes takes maybe a couple years to develop. But having the university supporting the team that's there, the leadership team that's supporting, has been really good for us and good for our community.
Yeah.
But again, we have to be adaptive in business. We have to adapt to society.
You're right.
And if we do not, then, just like a lot of corporations, they are left behind.
Absolutely.
So we really have to continue to push those things forward. So I'm excited to at least have what we have and what we're going to future present to the institution to provide more of that opportunity.
Absolutely. So what would you say, or what insight do you have as it pertains to the intersection of entrepreneurship and academia? That's a good one, right?
That's a really good one.
Let me tell you why I'm asking this question, so that may lead your answer. So a lot of times I hear people talk about maybe you don't need an education.
Yes.
And I'm oftentimes having that conversation. You need education, and education can be formal education and business education and self-education, but I think the two makes you a little more powerful.
Exactly.
So tell me what your thoughts are about that.
Well, for one, us as humans, we are continuous learners. we have the opportunity to learn from observation. They also have an opportunity to learn from, from the collegiate space and gaining different knowledge from what's provided there, and learning from experience.
Right.
The cool thing about it is that whatever direction they choose to help them in their growth process, then it will benefit them going forward. So, being just relating back to 2008, when we had the recession, a lot of individuals, they probably got laid off, or probably didn't have the opportunity to get the promotion that they desired. So they went back, had the idea to go back to school and continue to benefit themselves. So, the institutions these days, or even then, you have to be adaptive to that. You learning that you having the unemployment rate increasing. So how can you be creative? How can you create these opportunities to help with these group of people that want to better themselves, especially after as soon as we get out of this hump of being in a recession. So I see the same thing happening again.
History repeating itself, yeah.
And it does a lot. We had the Great Depression in the 1920s, and then the recession here, and COVID, and then now the political climate that we're in now. A lot of folks that are being laid off, are probably going again back to college, getting certifications, getting degrees, and if we don't have it as an institution, then competition, the competitors will have it. So is having the knowledge of what the community, what the market is asking for, and then being quick in creating that opportunity.
I like that. I am of the mindset that we have to be adaptive, like you said, and have the thought process of growth means acquiring the habits, skills, and knowledge that you need to make sure that you create opportunities for yourself.
Right.
It doesn't matter in which avenue, whether it's business, whether it's academia, whether it's getting a degree, a certificate, but it's having what you need, the tools in your toolbox to be able to apply it to whatever you need in that situation.
Yes.
And when we don't do that and we stop growing, we stagnate our growth.
Yes.
And so I love that you said that. So what would you say inspired you the most in business and entrepreneurship? Like, where did that come from?
Well, my parents, my mom and my dad were entrepreneurs.
Okay.
My dad was an accountant, but and it kind of inspired me to at least trying to be a CPA.
Okay.
I didn't go that route, but really. Now I really wish I did, because having that credential helps so many opportunities, but still having that knowledge of accounting helps with every other aspect, especially in entrepreneurship and running a business, or even running a business school. Parents, but also mentors. Okay. Even in the higher education space, I have several mentors who are university presidents, deans as well, and you learn from them. They tell you areas where they made mistakes, so you don't make the same mistake. And even in the entrepreneurship space, I mean, several mentors. I have a really big mentor. He owns about 35 McDonald's. Okay. And even though that's a fast food chain, I'm in the healthcare space. Business is business.
Yeah.
And how you maximize that is still can be done in healthcare.
Absolutely.
So learning from those, they're multimillionaires and been impactful for the communities, has been so profound for my career, my young career. And I'm always willing to learn. There's more opportunity for growth there. And I definitely want to see my business, which is Beanstalk Pediatrics, to expand itself to an opportunity. Probably not 30 plus, but definitely a good number to help a lot of communities to get proper health care.
I love that. So speaking of mentorship,
yes,
I think we don't talk about this enough. I think mentorship and coaching, business coaching, and connecting with someone who can add some value, some insight, and growth in a short period of time is super, super important.
Yes.
What would you say about that? Like, to the listeners in the audience, like, how important is it to have a mentor?
Oh, it's very important. Very important to have a mentor. Mentorship is a huge element for human success. Networking, knowing how to network is a big component of that. I tell my students all the time, I mean, use the power of LinkedIn to help you too. But since a lot of them are social media interest, having a person in your corner that you can learn from is so much beneficial, and it can take you more to places that a degree can't. I tell scholars all the time that degrees get you to the door, but that person that you know can get you through that door. And it happens so much.
And on the elevator.
The elevator pitch, right? So, but if you think about these components of the human to human connection, I mean, we see it so much in those who are CEOs and getting maybe family members and friends to big positions. But again, how you carry yourself, how you sell yourself, could take you to places that's so profound.
Absolutely.
And if you just know how to, help your persona to get to that element, you'll be perfectly fine.
Absolutely. And I think I'm glad you shared that, because I think so many people think you have to have one or the other.
Yeah.
And I think both is necessary, especially as you see yourself growing and scaling up, because every transition of life requires a new version of yourself.
Right.
And sometimes that new version of yourself is not there yet, and you need a mentor or a coach to help you get you there.
Yes.
So I think it's very important. Now, how did you... Well, I guess tell us a little bit about how you use your business acumen and your entrepreneurship in healthcare. Like, how did that transition happen? What inspired you to open a practice, so on and so forth?
So the inspiration to open a practice wasn't truly from me. My wife, who's a pediatrician, that was her goal, her vision, her dream. So me understanding that, I knew I had the knowledge to assist.
Okay.
So it's good to have that partner there that really have the true healthcare knowledge, especially with kids. But me knowing the business side is maximizing it. I tell folks all the time, I love the Chick-fil-A model, and how you treat people is so important.
Right.
I give them an analogy of Chick-fil-A versus McDonald's. And I'm like, which customer service would you like? Which experience would you like? And everyone says they want the Chick-fil-A experience. So adapting even that model into being an entrepreneur of a school of business or a medical practice is very important. Treating your employees with respect, and treating your customers with the same respect too, to get them to come back.
Yeah.
Creating traditional customers.
Yeah, that's powerful. So how do you feel your background kind of prepared you for launching a successful practice? Do you think your practice is successful?
Oh, yes.
Okay. And then how do you
Yes.
feel like your background really played a part in getting there?
Well, for one, the practice has been open for a year and
Okay.
3 months. And those who understand entrepreneurship know that the first 3 years is very tough.
Right.
The cool thing about this is we're seeing profound growth thus far with Beanstalk, to the point that is roughly between 25 to 30 patients a day.
That's good.
Which only having one provider there is still a success. And growing from that, I know from listening to the patients when they come, from when I see them, and then hearing it from our staffers and our pediatrician, that we're doing something great.
Okay.
Even the Google the Google responses has been very good. So it's learning off of that and continue to establish more success.
Gotcha.
Again, us as humans, we love interpersonal communication.
Right.
And how you treat people and creating a culture that's like a Chick-fil-A is the element that helps create or multiply that happiness, that cultural norm, that more folks want to be a part of the brand.
Gotcha.
And that strategy is very relatable to academia.
Okay.
Because the students are customers.
Right.
They're paying the tuition and fees to come to an institution, and they expect quality service, but also great customer service. And treating them can help 2 ways. Help them to graduate,
Yeah.
but also post-graduation, it helps them to give back. Right?
Absolutely.
And giving back helps with the bridge norm to give the dollars that help you to get those dollars
Absolutely.
to help provide provide resources for those students, those future students, to have or experience the same future success as you.
I love that you
Return
took
on
it there.
investment.
Come on now. I love that you took it there because last year at the conference, my workshop was literally about, so I created a financial literacy firm and
Yeah.
created a curriculum to talk about personal finance
Yes.
and understanding how that plays a part in your ability to have disposable income.
Yes.
Therefore, i.e., give back
Yeah.
to the organizations that you care about, your alma mater, and be impactful, even if you want to be this grand philanthropist. And so we're unable to give back in situations when we don't understand finance.
Right,
And so that's why
right.
that is something that I think is my assignment, and that's something I'm super passionate about.
Yeah.
Because the return on the investment is really us circulating our dollars and
Yes.
giving back to who served us and serving those who need our service, and it just keeps coming. We're circulating the black dollar, or we're circulating our skill set,
Yeah.
our knowledge, and that's how we can scale. If we're not collaborating and feeding into who fed us,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
can't necessarily grow as a community
That's true.
or as an organization. So I'm glad that you took it there. And it's important for like anybody who's listening to this, it's important for us to give back. And if you find yourself in a position where you can't give back,
Yes.
link up with a professional in that area where you feel that you're weak so that you can grow and be able to service and impact in the way that you want to.
Exactly.
It is so
It's so important.
I talk about it all the time.
It's so important. It's so important. And to add to that, so last year we established a partnership in the School of Business with Wells Fargo.
Okay.
So we created the Wells Fargo Financial Education Center to help our learners, our scholars, to understand the importance of investing, budgeting.
Yep.
And from that partnership, we created the Wells Fargo Investment Club. So students have the opportunity to learn more about the stock market. We had a stock game competition within the School of Business last fall. And one of the scholars, it wasn't a lot of money that they earned, but, you learned a lot from that competition. And now that scholar, and I think it's 7 more scholars, are competing now in a national stock game competition
that's good.
against other HBCUs. It's a 2-month, they have to hold their portfolios for 2 months, manage it for 2 months, and the student, since it's individual based and not team based or institutional based, the top student with the most earnings from that portfolio wins $50,000.
Oh, wow.
Right, so
That's
that is
nice.
huge.
That's
And it goes towards tuition or anything else they may need it for. But and there's a good thing for the resume when you have interviews as talking points of practical experiences that you did while in undergrad.
That is so good.
Yeah.
I love that. So, my financial literacy firm, Lead with Love Agency, we focus on, one-on-one educational consultations, but we also do workshops, conferences, and I've been working with HBCUs like Alcorn. I want to go talk to Jackson State, high schoolers, athletes, and anybody that would listen, because the more information that we know about how money works, compound interest, investing, budgeting, and saving. And the earlier we learn that, the better off we are as a community. The more we create a stability in the economy for ourselves, for our organizations, for our families, for the world. If we understand that, I think you and I understand this. So we live in a world where financial literacy is not taught really anywhere. It's not necessarily taught in elementary school, high school, undergrad, and even in business schools. You kind of talk about how to do accounting, organizational finances, but personal finance. And sometimes we miss the link that allows us to manage our own finances well, or to think about how we have to prioritize growing a portion of our money. And so I love that you have that Wells Fargo Center there, because in our community, especially in the HBCU, where we know that HBCUs are underfunded,
Right.
and that we would have to depend on people giving back, those who have gone and learned and have grown from those organizations. It's important for us to have that knowledge that, okay, coming out of school or even while I'm in school, I am building a financial future,
Yeah.
so that at some point I can give back
Exactly.
to my school.
Exactly. And again, it's so important. The experience helps with that. Having these different opportunities for, I'm gonna call them future business leaders.
Okay.
These customers, these future business leaders, to prepare them even more for their future goals. And they always remember, because it's me. I'm putting myself in the shoes as when I was a undergrad business student, and how my professors treated me like I'm a future asset of the institution. And again, it's the same like I'm in retail stores or anywhere you get proper customer service. How you're treated is going to stick. And then once you graduate, you think about those positive experiences.
Right.
Because those positive experiences help with that return on investment, which probably took you to a big company in a Fortune 100 or 500 company, and you exploring the world. Like, we have students who currently for internships are getting internships on the West Coast or in the New England states. We have one student. He had a profound experience with this corporate insurance agency called Gallagher,
Okay.
in Chicago. And also he has from this partnership we have with Ole Miss, he has a risk management certificate behind his name in undergrad.
Oh, wow.
So this summer he got the opportunity to go to London, England,
Oh, wow.
to study those corporate insurance agencies there. So
Nice.
students are getting the traditional curriculum experience. You're getting practical experiences from internships and what we're providing in the School of Business. But now you can study abroad experience that's more enhancing more of your knowledge. So again, these experiences always, based off research, correlates to alumni giving, because we took the time to help them to get where they are now, where they're going.
That's big.
And then they want to come back and give
That's
back
big.
to others.
That's
Yes.
so big. And that's more of the same thing we were talking about. Acquiring more habits, skills,
Yes.
and knowledge, which means putting more tools in your toolbox.
Exactly.
I love that. Speaking of, what you're doing for the HBCU, I know that you are a graduate of a rival university, but I don't give you too much
It's all
flack
love.
because you graduated, but you're leading and doing great things in this space.
Yes.
So you graduated from Jackson State University,
Correct.
right?
The I love.
I can't even say it. I can't even say it. But I want to know, how do you feel Jackson State or
Yeah.
being a product of an HBCU
Yes.
shaped your leadership skills and your desire to impact the community?
Yeah. Well, it's just like just the family of our families, of the nourishment that's there. Having professors that really took the time to cater to me and my thoughts, met me where I was at that time. I can't say that I had a different experience from the PWIs I went to, but it was just the experience, the culture norm that was there. I felt the connection, and with my peers that's there, that was goal oriented. I wanted to be adaptive to that. I found the sense of belonging.
Absolutely.
So the HBCU space is different. It provides more of that support mechanism that helps learners, help customers to get where they want to go. And again, I mean, you can have maybe some similar experiences going to another type of institution,
Right.
but it's just knowing that you're with like-minded individuals, those who look like you, that want to push you forward, especially when you don't see that vision, right then and there. Because again, there's a lot of students out there within my School of Business or at other institutions that don't see it quite yet, and we might have to keep pushing them until they at least get a little point of seeing that light at the tunnel. Right. And then when they graduate or 2 years later, post graduation, they come back and say, Dr. Woods, thank you. thank you for taking the time to at least helping me to get to where I am. And that's the huge component of serving. Taking your
Absolutely.
taking yourself out of the equation, meeting the students where they are, and then painting the picture for them, having them see the vision so they can be successful.
That's really good. We get experiences and knowledge from everywhere we go. Like
Yeah.
I too, I have a master's and a doctorate from Arizona State University, and so those experiences give you some insight. But I really feel like the foundation was laid
foundation.
at my HBCU.
Exactly.
And to describe more of what you're saying, I like to say that my HBCU was the first place where I did not feel like a minority, and that does something with your worthiness
Yes.
as you enter in the space in the world where people from all walks of life are doing the same things that you're
Right.
doing, or maybe in a space where you're inspired or aspiring to be. But that HBCU experience, like you said, you're around people who look like you, who are all there for a
Yes.
reason, to get a degree, to gain knowledge, to enter into the
Yes.
world the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
And so that experience gives you the drive, but also back to being a servant leader, it inspires you to want to do the best that you can
Yes.
do, be the
Yes.
best that you can be, so that you're returning that service back into that HBCU. So
And even from the dynamic of me being a young dean. Last night I ran into some alums, and they were like, "You're very young." And I always joke when folks, when they see that I'm a dean and see that I'm young, and I always say that I'm non-traditional. I'm a non-traditional dean. And the cool thing about the higher education space, giving the young leaders an opportunity, is now students in the undergrad space can have more of that opportunity to see themselves in leadership-based positions at a young age. The stigma there is, traditionally you're supposed to be an older person being in these leadership-based roles. But just like we have to analyze or have a diverse mindset in other aspects, you have to have a diverse mindset even when it comes to age. Because a lot of people that are young have the knowledge, may have the experience, and they can help with innovation if the opportunity is presented.
Absolutely.
So Alcorn provided the opportunity for me. Before Alcorn, I served at Belhaven University for 10 years.
Okay.
So thankful for Belhaven to help my foundation.
Gotcha.
I was at Vanderbilt before that,
Okay.
and Middle Tennessee State.
Okay.
But again, Belhaven provided me with more of the leadership, more of the administrative experiences to help me to get to where I am now. And that experience is probably one of the reasons why we're seeing a lot of the success going on at the School of Business at Alcorn State.
Gotcha.
Of learning different things
Okay.
and being observant.
That's good. I love that. Now, what would you say was one of the most influential experiences you've had that kind of inspired you to be the leader that you are? Would you say it was your experiences, or would you say a mentor? Like, what would you say your most profound experience or relationship that kind of drove that?
So leadership in higher education, the experience was back at Vanderbilt. I met a older gentleman. His name was David Williams, the late David Williams now. He passed, I want to say maybe it was 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay.
Mr. David Williams he was a jack of all trades. He was the third powerfulest person on Vanderbilt's campus.
Oh, wow.
He served as vice chancellor for university affairs as well as the director of athletics.
Okay.
So he was an African American, and he was a lawyer by trade, also a law professor. And just seeing him work and lead in that higher education space, and me being extremely young at that time, I'm like, goodness, how can I learn more knowledge from you?
Gotcha.
How can I take your knowledge and embed it in me? And just the short amount of time of being around him, it was a blessing for me because it gave me the energy, the motivation to say, Antwon, keep pushing. You're going to find yourself if you stay the course. And again, he's passed now, and I'm just happy and blessed to have those experiences
Right.
from learning from him. Again, it's countless others
Right.
throughout the years who I can just give my hat to.
Yeah.
Because it really shaped me as a leader today. But I think the foundation was with David Williams, and just having that short moment of seeing myself as a leader in higher education.
Absolutely. And just like everything else, and just like your money should be doing, all of your experiences, your relationships, all of that compounds
Yes.
to grooming you into who you're supposed to be or who you are now.
Correct.
Now,
Correct.
for the listeners, how did you approach your Mr. David? Is his name David, you said?
David Williams.
David
Yeah.
Williams. How did you approach him? Did you pitch him, or how did you get close to where he could be a mentor to you?
Oh, it was tough. So it was the connection was through the current AD.
Okay.
Her name is Candace Story Lee.
Okay.
She was the associate AD then, and she was technically kind of like more of one of the first mentors too. But she introduced me to him, and I mean, I'm not even sure how, the verbiage took flight, but me knowing for a fact how I was then, I was so ambitious and I wanted to continue to grow. I mean, I was in Nashville. I didn't have no family there. I didn't have any friends. So I was still trying to find myself.
Right.
But again, having the opportunity to be in
Right.
Vanderbilt, a very prominent institution, and then being connected to others who are leading in the space that looked like you. I was trying to continue to find myself,
Yeah.
but also seeing do I want to be in higher education.
Yeah.
So it was more of the introduction of Candace, and then I guess he saw something in me that made more conversations to go from there.
Gotcha. So what advice would you give a young listener who may be considering higher education or leadership, and they're seeking a mentor? What would you say would be the first 3 or 4 steps they should take?
Yeah. So first things first, if you want to be in higher education, if you are an undergrad, and you probably served in some roles like in student government, or at HBCUs, we have the Royal Court. I was affiliated with that in my
Okay.
years there. And you love the experience of serving. Definitely continue to talk with the Vice President of Student Affairs. They can give you more scoop of that.
Okay.
From that perspective, talk with your professors. They can give you some information about your next steps. Again, if you want to be in student affairs, then pursue a master's of higher education.
Gotcha.
Or a master's of student affairs.
Gotcha.
Those things can take you to the next step of creating more opportunities to beef up your network with those
Nice.
professors. So every strategy every plan that you make can help with your destination. And you're going to meet new people. You're going to meet college presidents. You're going to meet other folks that's going to help structure your goals there. And even in business, it might not go through the same not pipeline, the same strategy, the roadmap like student affairs is. It might be strictly just staying connected with your professors that's in business, or the dean of business to get where you want to go. I was just fortunate to have opportunities in athletics, student affairs, and in business as connectors. And then eventually I went business route and stayed the course there and continue to learn in that process.
Good deal.
Accrediting
I love
agencies and everything.
That's good. So you talk about the financial literacy center that you've helped to facilitate at Alcorn State, the investment club. What are some other things that you kind of spearheaded there? And then tell me a little bit about some of the other things that you're looking to implement.
So I'm going to have this strictly about degree programs.
Okay.
So we have an awesome traditional MBA,
Okay.
and this new STEM MBA that we
Okay.
just launched this past August. Starting with the STEM MBA. The STEM MBA is pretty unique.
Okay.
It's the first of its kind in Mississippi. It's the first of its kind at an HBCU. I mean, to be really frank, we're number 55 in the nation
Okay.
that have a STEM MBA. So that program, we have 4 concentrations, 4 focus areas: accountancy, healthcare management, data analytics, and artificial intelligence.
Oh, wow.
So both the traditional MBA and the STEM MBA, both are 30 credit hours. So students can finish within maybe 10 to 12 months. The price point is very inexpensive. It's 14 by 14.5 for the whole program, 14,500 plus for the whole program. In which, if you look at other institutions that have either a STEM MBA or a traditional MBA, normally the average price for those programs are like 25,000 plus.
Oh, wow.
So showing that we are one of the least expensive out there, it should be like a good motivational factor for those that want to continue their education. And it's accredited and it's very beneficial, and can enhance your career more than you imagine.
Now, who would you say would benefit from the STEM MBA program?
So those that are interested in those 4 areas, again, in accounting, healthcare management, AI, or data analytics, again, there's a lot of people out there that have aspirations of wanting to learn more about could be entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And like yourself, you're a nurse by trade, but you have your own medical clinic. Those that are in the medical field and want to expand themselves to have something of their own,
Right.
maybe the STEM MBA in healthcare management could be a benefit for them. Or those that want to, their jobs are saying that we need to understand more about AI in business. How can you help us with that? Are there programs out there that can benefit our companies?
Right.
And hey, Alcorn School of Business have the STEM MBA in AI that can beef up your knowledge from that aspect.
Okay.
So those things of being the connector to the marketplace, and in accounting, the accounting program is unique too. So we have a partnership with a company called Glime.
Okay.
Glime is a CPA prep agency.
Okay.
And we have all of their CPA prep material embedded in each of those 3 concentration courses that's correlated to the CPA exam itself.
Oh, wow.
So the students will have unlimited resources. They will have those resources even post graduation
That's
to
good.
help prepare them for the CPA exam.
That's good.
So, traditionally, a lot of schools don't have a partnership like that, either with Becker or Glime, that have the material embedded, but we have that.
At Alcorn State University.
Alcorn State
Come
University.
on. Under the leadership of Dr. Antwon Woods.
Under the leadership of everything we got going on.
Yeah, everybody.
So, yes,
but that's good. But that drives the point about being a visionary, being innovative, being a servant leader, because all of those will impact the community really well. Because I'm envisioning doctors, nurse practitioners, nurses, clinicians, lawyers, anybody who's looking to learn the business side of healthcare, and because all of those pieces come together when you're talking about successful practices or healthcare organizations. So I think it's going to be major.
Oh yeah.
So
definitely.
what other things?
So outside of that, we have some proposed new programs coming up. Is waiting final review from our board of trustees, but we have an awesome partnership that we're establishing, internal partnership that we're establishing with the College of Agriculture.
Okay.
It's a joint program with accounting. Since we have this partnership with Glime, the proposed program that we're trying to produce is called an agricultural accounting joint program.
I love that.
And the Dean Wakefield and I, he's the dean of College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences, and we've both been hearing from the corporations in the agriculture space and the need of accountants serving in that industry. So knowing that the need is there, we're trying to create the opportunity to produce students to can go right into that field, have a CPA, or not even having the CPA, but having the accounting knowledge
Right.
to help beef up the ag space in that opportunity. So we're hoping this program is launched this fall.
Okay.
And hopefully it can be a really good revenue generator for the institution, but also be a bridge for our learners into the ag space.
Absolutely. And I think that is so important because, being that Alcorn is the first land grant historically Black college and university who is big in agriculture,
Yes.
it's important to bring that attractiveness to
Exactly.
agriculture and merging that business aspect
Yes.
so that it's done effectively and that when people finish their degree plan or they've gotten their knowledge and experience, they're operating in excellence
Yes.
as opposed to trying to scramble from behind or learn the business side of it or learn, okay, how do I merge this knowledge that I have with the operations and making it profitable so it can be sustainable so that we can give back to the college and the community.
But again, I'm so sorry for intruding.
No, you're fine.
But again, that's why we have to be consistent innovators.
Yes.
And also, I know every unit is doing their own thing or doing their own thing. But it's best that we have these internal partnerships to create new norms.
That's so good.
To build more of those students to be these leaders for tomorrow. Because again, we're getting older. And they are leading the world going forward in the future. So we have to make sure that we're training them very well. They're getting that acumen that we're providing to them, even though they will get trained when they're with their that corporate entity. But we know that we have that foundation laid for them and know what the literature says and how they can adapt to that, to the practical space to create some extraordinary things in their opportunities, in their careers, their future careers. So I'm happy that we're doing these things, and we have some more things coming up too that I want to keep that hush.
Okay.
But
okay.
I definitely
secrets,
gotta keep secrets, so bring things to fruition. But I definitely think where we're going is a huge success for not just for the business school but for the university, providing more opportunities for more students, more future students to see this awesome brand of Alcorn State University. The campus is gorgeous. The faculty is so profound. They're world leaders, and they're bringing so much world knowledge to our space. That's benefiting our curriculum and our students.
I love that. That's a great ending point. We can sit here and talk all day, but I think maybe it'll be a part 2, or maybe you'll have me as a guest on your, what's the name of your segment?
So it's Conversations with the Dean.
Conversations with the Dean.
Yeah,
okay, good deal. So
fun event.
You guys check that out as well.
Yeah.
Is it on YouTube?
So we're about to establish a website, and it's recorded on YouTube, but we're going to have the links embedded on our webpage on the School of Business, so listeners can have an easier access to find each recording that we had from when we started in October 2023 to the one we did yesterday.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
So now we're at the segment. It's rapid fire because we're down to the last few minutes of this. So you have to answer within like 5 seconds.
Perfect.
Okay. What is your biggest fear?
Oh, goodness gracious, procrastination.
Ooh, I love that.
Procrastination. Yes.
Who inspires you the most right now?
Oh man. Oh goodness gracious. My mother.
I love that. Jordan or LeBron?
LeBron.
Okay. Kobe or Jordan?
Jordan.
Okay. Football or basketball?
Football. I'm a former football player, so I have to choose that.
Okay. Who's your favorite football team?
You want to know?
I do want to know.
We're in Dallas, so the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh my God!
Yes, the Dallas
I'm
Cowboys.
an Eagles fan. That's why you asked me that. We're Super Bowl champs, but go ahead, Cowboy fan.
But we have more championships, so that's all that matters.
When it was on VHS,
I don't care.
I'm just kidding.
I don't care.
Just playing.
It's still in the history books.
It's all love. It's all love. My sister is a huge Cowboys fan, and it's a great family rivalry. When you are trying to get in your zone, like what do you do for personal development?
Oh man, podcasts. Listen to podcasts, learning from others.
Okay.
Learning from my own mistakes.
Okay.
And growing from there. But always trying to be a continuous learner and a continuous improver.
Okay.
That's the most important thing. Trying to grow from taking criticism and transforming it into strengths. So, I don't love like everyone else. I don't love getting a lot of criticism, but I'm receptive to those criticisms. I know for a fact there's room for me to continue to grow and improve.
Absolutely. What podcast are you listening to right now? Or it could be the podcast or the category.
Yeah. So I love sport podcasts,
Okay.
the Shannon Sharp podcast. I listen to a lot of higher education podcasts.
Okay, gotcha.
And then also the financial podcast too is pretty interesting. The gentleman in Nashville, I forgot his name, but he does a lot of financial literacy.
Okay.
You probably know him too, but definitely those three things because
Okay.
it's wrapped around me
Everything.
and my professional and personal life, especially when it comes to investments. I'm a really big advocate of that. So those continue to give me the knowledge, the nuggets that I need to continue to better myself, better my craft.
Okay. Now, when you are exercising, what do you have in your AirPods?
So technically, I really don't use
Okay.
AirPods much anymore.
Okay.
I have my own thought going.
Okay.
I'm on a Peloton a lot these days.
Okay.
And I love looking at my past performance, my personal record, and I'm competing against self.
Okay.
So I might the noise, the music, it might be just of the person who's talking on the Peloton, or just me talking to self, not crazy.
Yeah, I know what you
but
mean. Like
motivating
going through your
self
thoughts. Yeah.
to
Okay.
to keep me push forward. So,
Good deal.
but it's I traditionally used to use music to help me, but now it's silence or self motivation
Gotcha.
to help me to keep pushing.
I love that. How important is financial literacy and wealth building to you?
Oh, very important. Very important. I'm an advocate of creating opportunity in that norm to help me gain wealth. And I'm thinking so much about my 5-year-old and providing opportunity from her. Could be through my life insurance policies, could be through my stock portfolio,
Right.
could be through my real estate portfolio, but providing something that she can have,
I love
or even my future grandkids can have. I don't want them to experience poverty. I don't want them to experience any of the stressors that I've experienced.
I love that.
And I want them to have a better life.
Legacy.
Yes, legacy.
Legacy.
Yes,
I love that.
yes, it's important.
Last two questions. What has been one of your biggest challenges and how did you overcome it?
In what aspect?
Anything
okay.
that you felt like, whew, that was a doozy. Like it had you down for a minute and then you're like, hey, I'm Dr. Woods. Let me get through
Oh
this.
goodness. I mean, it could be past experience with employers.
Okay.
Of when you know that you're growing, and you might have a person there that maybe is fearful of your growth, and try to push you down.
Gotcha.
So, my wife is a great motivator.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm so blessed to have her as my support system. Being with her this long, seeing us both being, teenagers and then growing to be some amazing professionals. We motivate one another. She
Gotcha.
has these moments and I have these moments, but we remind each other where we came from and where we're going. And the true motivating factor outside of that is if I have a bad day, I'm seeing my 5-year-old and she kind of helps change that narrative of being in that slump to remind yourself that you're a king and you can keep pushing.
I love that.
Yeah.
I want to leave the audience with this because Dr. Woods has blessed us with so much knowledge and
Yeah.
experience that I hope all of you guys were taking notes. But one thing I say about life is gonna life. Things
Yes.
are gonna happen, but we have to remember to continue growing. We have
Yes.
to adapt the growth mindset and remember. One foot in front of the other.
Yes.
One foot in front of the other.
Exactly.
And no matter what's happening, whether it was in your favor or not, or what you expected or not, we have to take the next best action of integrity
Yes.
to move our lives
That's
forward.
true.
And so to all of you guys listening, go here, rewind this video, like, subscribe, share it with someone that you love, post it on your social media, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, wherever, because I think it is so important to have a message out there for everyone to know we should be growing, we should be leading, we should be serving, we should be growing businesses to move our lives forward and to impact the community. and we should continue to always love ourselves,
Yes.
operate in excellence, believe in ourselves, believe in our self-worthiness, and let's move the culture forward and elevate humanity. I'm Dr. Lo, the Wealth and Wellness Strategist. We're out with Dr. Antwon Woods. And you guys stay tuned to all of the amazing episodes that are here to come. But share this with someone you love.
Yes.
Out.